Let's talk some Harry Potter, shall we? Hello everyone, and welcome to my Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them recap / review spoiler-free version. As you can tell, I am not at home. In fact, I'm in my school's computer lab, which is empty right now, which is great, and I'm going to try to make this go really fast. I've got my Ravenclaw scarf, got my Harry Potter shirt. Let's do this. So, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, in case you are not aware or have been living under a rock, is a prequel of sorts to the Harry Potter films, which were massively successful. This one is written by J.K. Rowling herself, and it is sort of based on previous material, but the story is completely original, and this is the first time in the history of the Harry Potter franchise, or I guess J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World as it is now known, that we don't really have a lot of previously published material to go off of. This is the first completely fresh experience that any Harry Potter would have, and I have to say, I was blown away by it. First off, the characters were so insanely likable. I knew already that I was going to love Eddie Redmayne as Newt Scamander, but he was just so wonderful and cared for the creatures so much, and he was just a really good guy. I'm not saying that he's Hiccup in live action form, but he is Hiccup in live action form. Let's be real here. Also great was Catherine Waterston and Alison Sudol as Tina and Queenie Goldstein, the two wizarding sisters that Newt meets in New York, and they were really great. I really liked Catherine Waterston. She was smart, she was badass. You definitely feel like there's more to her than meets the eye, and that she should have a higher post than she does working in the Magical Congress of the United States of America. And of course we have to give it up for Dan Fogler as Jacob Kowalski. I kind of knew him as a second-rate Jack Black, but he was really good in this movie. His character is more or less the eyes for the audience because he is a no-mage or a muggle, as we're used to calling non-magic people. He provided a good vehicle for us to know the information that's being told to us on screen, and there is a lot of that. I have to say, with storytelling, J.K. Rowling, there is no end to her imagination. This is probably the only prequel that I can think of to a franchise that has almost very little to do with the franchise that it's going off. It's in the wizarding world that Harry Potter is in, but it takes place 70 years before that, and it takes place in 1920s New York. And it's also interesting because this takes place in a city where magic is not the norm. In the Harry Potter movies, we're at Hogwarts all the time, so there's not really a need to keep it suppressed or to hide it because they're in a safe magical environment. New York really isn't that, and especially not around this time. Newt Scamander, he's arrived in New York, he has these magical creatures that have somehow gotten loose in the city. Tina and Queenie and Jacob have to help him find them before no-mages figure out what in the world is going on. And it's a very interesting time for relations between humans and wizards because there's such tension. I'm actually not going to spoil too much for you because I went in knowing only what I knew from the two trailers that had come out, the original one and the teaser trailer that had come out about 6 months before the movie. I hadn't read anything on Pottermore, mostly because I can't remember my Pottermore password, but I knew about the North American Wizard School and all of this world building that had been done previously. And I thought it worked very well in this movie's favor because it felt like it could stand on its own in its own right. And yes, there is a big reveal at the end that will definitely play into the future 4 Fantastic Beasts movies that come out. I'm really excited to see where this saga goes because with the imagination that J.K. Rowling has and with everything planned, she's planned everything, she's written the next screenplay, she knows what's going to happen in the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th movies, and I can't wait to see that play out. And I know people were saying, is it too much? Before I saw this movie I would have said maybe, but I really think that there's so much to explore with this story, with Newt and with all these other characters. There are a couple little hints to things that happen in the Harry Potter movies that they don't even really draw attention to. They don't make it very obvious at all. Of course, I noticed them because I'm a diehard Harry Potter fan, and I kind of squealed in the theater because who wouldn't? Final thoughts on this. I'm really glad that this movie is very different from the Harry Potter movies, because I think if it had been too close, people would be just saying, oh, you're doing this for the money, and in reality that's probably a part of it. But I think that the overall visual look, which is amazing by the way, the visual effects are great and it's shot beautifully and it just looks so much different from the Harry Potter series. If I had to give the later Harry Potter movies that David Yates, who directed this movie, directed, a color theme, whatever, I would say it felt more bluish. This film, I would say, was more like yellowish golden, which I think fits the 1920s New York period that it's trying to go for. And I think it's very important to have that distinct look, the distinct sound. James Newton Howard did the score for this movie. There's only a teeny tiny hint of the Harry Potter theme when the title first rolls in the very beginning, and then after that there's nothing musically related to the Harry Potter movies, which I thought was wonderful. I love Fantastic Beasts. I don't think it's quite as good as the Harry Potter movies that came before it, but I think it has the potential to be a just as epic franchise. And I would give it probably a 9 out of 10. I don't normally do movie reviews on this channel, but I'm happy to do it. If you want to hear me talk more about movies, you can subscribe for new videos every single Sunday, and you can subscribe to my second channel for more vlog-related content. I've posted some new content over on DDP, etc. I just posted an article about the brand new Annie Award nominations that were just announced today, Monday, and I posted the last of my film reviews for Forgotten Gems, and that film was The Rescuers Down Under. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Tumblr, and of course on DDP, etc. And that is it for this week. Thank you for coming along with me on this little field trip of sorts to a new background. And as always, remember to keep living awesome lives, and I will see you very soon. Bye.